Okay, so I know I don't usually have a date I post, or a week even sometimes, but I to some extent post on Mondays because in my head Monday is the first day of the week, so it's the first day in which I'm like thinking about weekly things and I'm remembering it. I mean, Sunday's the first day of the week on the calendar. I'm very American in that sense, but like in the sense of like to-do list, Monday is my first day of my week. And so I think of that. I also think of, oh, I have to get it done before Tuesday because that's when Kate makes her videos. But this week was a different kind of week because Monday was a day off, and specifically for me, it was a travel day. Um, and I don't know if you can tell in my eyes. I feel like I look super tired. I am super tired. Anyway, today is Tuesday, and right now Kate is probably recording her video or possibly posting it. I will respond to that video next week because for right now, I'm not able to stay up any longer. And I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. I wrote 5 pages of notes, and there's no way I will remember all this tomorrow because I'm too tired. So, the rectangle today is an actual rectangle, and then actually they're all actual rectangles. Nella's is a little bit more abusing the concept of a rectangle to call it that. The Shutterfly notebooks I have absolutely talked about before. In fact, I might have shown those notebooks before. There's another one that's like an emoji with a blue face and the head is exploding. Like it's a regular emoji. I think they're Apple, and I called it the Brain Blast notebook. It has the emoji, which is like Brain Blast, and then it says at the bottom Eureka, and I use that as my writer's notebook, or did when I was writing consistently in it. That was like, I was so proud to have made that. It's so silly, but it actually worked really well for inspiring me to write. Other things I've made with Shutterfly, there was this, I was in this Disney annual pass holders Facebook group back when I was an annual pass holder for 45 days. Right before Disney shut down for the pandemic, because I got an annual pass on February 1st, and then March like 15th or whatever they shut down Disney, and I canceled my annual pass. So I was in that group for like a year, but I was only an annual pass holder for like a very brief time. Anyway, so in that group, one time there was this meme. This woman posted her picture of Cinderella's castle, a different picture than mine, and she was so proud of it, and she was like talking about how it was the best picture ever. I don't remember the details. And everyone's like, it's clearly raining, it looks dreary, why are you saying this is the best ever? And so they started photoshopping that picture as everything, and it became a group meme. And I think, if I recall correctly, she was a good sport about it, but like, it was everything. So like, I put that picture on a mug, which to this day, 2 years later, I still use as a mug regularly at work. I put that on a drawstring backpack, which I have brought to Disney with me. Like, I like making Shutterfly things. I find it very fun, and everything is so overpriced, but they regularly have deals where it's like, buy this item, get it free if you pay shipping, or buy this item, get it 50% off with free shipping. And so if you wait for the right deal, it's not expensive. I think the magnets were like $1 for 4 with free shipping, and there was also some percentage off discount, so it was expensive. I mean, I bought a metric fuck ton of magnets. I bought like 300 something, plus the bigger ones. But it cost like $77. Okay, it's a lot, but like for a permanent decoration in my house that has brought many, 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 many days worth of joy, including several times me just sitting in front of my fridge staring at pictures. For me, it was worth it. Oh my god, 4 minutes, holy shit, this is gonna be the longest video ever. The art textbook being associated with specific memory makes sense. That's how a lot of my memories are, where I don't have like a general memory of something, but if there's a specific thing that ties it to, I do remember it. I have to wear my glasses like 100% of the time, so I could not deal with the vertigo when I had it, but I can see why if you were only wearing them very sporadically, it would be like a little bit less of an issue, and you wouldn't get it like dealt with. I couldn't deal with it because it was every single day, and I had to drive and function at work, and it was awful. I do think I should go back to the eye doctor and see if I can get new glasses, because I can feel that these are old. And like, there are a lot of things I don't understand about glasses. Like, in my eyesight, my phone and my TV are the same exact size to my eyes, because like, if you think about the cone of distance, right, like to here, and then you go out further, it's bigger. But if I were to take off my glasses, I can see this just fine, and I can see that not at all. It's just a blurry mess. And I don't understand that. I need to read up on how it's possible, because there's some medical phenomenon there that I don't understand. They're the same size, they look like they're the same distance, even though they're not. Like, why aren't they equally blurry? I don't get it. But yeah, very nearsighted that way. I can totally tell because I can see my phone. Tension headaches for super long hair sounds super rough, but also sounds right because the longer my hair is, the more likely I'm to deal with that. And I've never had hair that was down past my my hips, so that sounds like a lot. And like, yeah, there's a difference in weight, but like at a certain point, no matter how thick your hair is, if it's past your hips, it's gonna feel heavy and it's gonna give you tension headaches. So I do not envy that. You're talking about you should do something new. Are there any hair dyes you're not allergic to? Because I really, really, really think you should dye your hair purple or blue. I want to do blue, but I can't. I probably could. I like in a sense of like if I didn't ask permission, I ask for forgiveness from my boss because like I don't deal with clients much, but I'm too scared to piss her off. She's very much not a fan of tattoos, so I'd be afraid of that. If you dye your hair purple, if there's any such thing as a corn-free hair dye, maybe I could get an eyebrow piercing. I had that in high school and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Oh wow, I'm not even done with the first page. Oh, this is not going well. You don't belong in fandoms anymore. I get it. In a sense, neither do I. Like, I read and write for a couple different fandoms on AO3, but like, in terms of the actual socialization with the community, I did that so much in the summer of 2020. So much. Like, super active on Tumblr, posting, DMing, all that stuff. And I don't have that relationship now. Like, I had it with the Untamed, Gank Your Heart, like, to some extent Crash Landing on You. Like, I had all of that. But my more recent fandoms are Marvel and Star Wars, and I have not even tried to get in onto that on Tumblr, which is what I associate as the fandom space. So, like, I have read and written Harry Potter fan fiction, but I have never talked. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I just said the wrong thing. I have not read or written Harry Potter fan fiction since like high school, but I have read and written Marvel fan fiction, and I haven't talked with anybody, even though I'm not opposed to it. I have like Marvel and Star Wars Facebook groups I'm in, but it's not the same vibe. It, like, fandom on Tumblr is so much more like intense and inspired, and it's not even that they're not inspired because like the comments on the Facebook groups are super passionate and in depth and combing through every detail. But I don't know, there's just a vibe to Tumblr fandom that like I really like, and now that I'm talking about it, it makes me want to get back into it. But like when I phased out of the Untamed fandom, it makes sense, of course. Like I only watched that in 2020. I never watched that after. But like it meant a lot to me while I was there, and it's kind of sad to be disconnected from fandom in a sense. You're talking about canon compliant fanfiction, and my comment is that my last Untamed fanfic was canon compliant, and I think that was the only canon compliant fanfic that I have ever written, I think. Because that was like a post-canon, like, they sort of walk off into the sunset, and I was like, well, how can they get an actual happy ending where it's like more explicitly stated that it's a happy ending? Because it's sort of, if you think too hard about the canon ending, it's a little sad, but like if you delve into it further and let it continue along the lines of canon, I had fun with that. But otherwise, yeah, canon divergent stories, different ships that are in canon, AUs, that's more what I write. But it's okay not to be in fandoms. There is a certain amount of toxic behavior in those cultures anyway, so sometimes escaping that might be for the best. It's certainly not for everyone. I didn't go to a baseball game. That's sad. The Mets and the Cardinals were playing within spitting distance of my parents' house this weekend, but funeral schedule just meant that it wasn't possible. Okay, this is gonna sound super weird. Do brains or eyes have like stabilizers? Because I never notice your camera shaking when Min is moving until you mention it. Because like something in my brain or my eyes is mentally stabilizing the image on the screen such that like the shaking, oh fucking fireworks, the shaking is going off, I guess, but I'm not seeing it because my brain is like latched onto your face, and even if it's shaking, I'm still seeing only your face in a stable sense. That may be ridiculous, that may be weird, but I don't notice it. And then of course once you point it out, it's obvious. But I don't know. The early years of YPO editing out silences, same. Oh my god, I would like be like, I'm gonna record it all in one take and then edit it, and then there would be like a straight minute where I was trying to figure out what to say, and then I would say something and not like it and say the exact same thing again, and like have to edit out one whole take. Oh my god. I miss having the video editing software of my college computer. That was so good, and my current one doesn't have that. Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, the editing, I actually committed for some videos to being like, yeah, I'm gonna get this like perfect. And obviously these days it's a lot more free flowing, which in a way is nicer because it feels more natural. It feels like just chatting with a friend rather than like trying to strategically plan time. Not that I was ever that strategic. Okay. Yes, my last tour was probably September 2020. I think it was before the Magnet, so that would be like right after I moved in and almost 2 years ago. Which is crazy. Like, I keep saying, oh, I've lived here a year and a half. Like, no, it's July. I came to California in late August. It's almost 2 years. In so many ways, that's hard to believe. So many ways. I absolutely adore your dinosaur backpack, obviously. And I think that it's very convenient that if you have to carry a lot of things around for whatever reason, whether it's medical or food or whatever, that you can have a cute way to carry it. Like, I don't know, I always carry either my Star Wars or my Marvel backpack, but for this weekend I brought a black purse because I was going to a funeral in a church, and I feel like it would be disrespecting my late grandmother to bring a Marvel character backpack into her funeral. Like, that just doesn't seem right. So I brought a plain black purse, which is black and plain. So perfectly professional, appropriate. I look sweaty or oily, but I swear I'm not. It's like the lighting is weird. Yeah, again, with like the just natural talking like you're talking to friends. Yeah, not a fan of the boring black purse. It's not my style. So I think dinosaurs or other fandom, cutesy, kitty, whatever kind of stuff is fun. I think it's really fun that you know that the cacti were called the hens and chicks. I'd like to have cool general knowledge like that, but I only know very specific, very weird things. And then I have just large swaths of knowledge that I should have in my head that I don't, because my memory is so bad that all of these things that I could have learned, I have unlearned. Like, I read this really amazing, devastating, upsetting, whatever, New York Times article earlier, and I was like super passionate and angry on the behalf of the woman who it was about, and like, and I've already forgotten her name. My memory sucks. I could look it up because I can look at the search history, but like, still. Camp NaNoWriMo. Oh, I'll see how fast I can do this. I am not doing Camp NaNoWriMo. I had intended to not do Camp NaNoWriMo because from the 1st to the 4th, I was out of town and I knew I would have like 0 seconds of downtime, which was true. However, on my flight home from the funeral on the 4th, so on my flight outbound, I watched Spider-Man No Way Home and Uncharted. So I watched a Tom Holland double feature. Very fun. On my flight back, I read my entire Camp Nano project from April, which was only like 10,000 words or something. And I was immediately obsessed. And it had the vibes of like, I would like to continue reading this. Someone else write it so I can continue reading it. Like, I want to read this. It was that, like, silly romance novel that was never going to be spicy because I don't rate spicy books, but it's like, that's the genre. And then I also read, hard to explain, but it's the Holiday AU. It's an AU fanfic of a novel I wrote. But the AU is like, everything's perfect and nothing hurts, set during the holidays in New York. And it's, oh my god, it's so wish fulfillment because it's everything I want. But it was beautiful. And it was like, it made me like motivated to redraft the original novel it was based on, because when I glanced at that, it looks like a teenager wrote it. And I think I was 24, but I was like way less mature of a writer, so it feels like a teenager wrote it. So reading the AU motivated me to redraft the original so that I can publish it, so that I can put the fanfic on AO3. Am I proud of that? Well, I'm not proud of it. So, like, yeah, that's the weird motivations. I think the bare bones of the original are like there's a good story basis, but it's so childishly written, so I need to fix it. Which is good because I've never edited anything, so trying to do a complete redraft is probably better than starting from scratch. Anyway, super motivated for writing. Super motivated. Nella, I miss storms and rain. I hope the storm was okay and nothing bad happened. Obviously, if the National Weather Service is giving you notifications about it, it was probably pretty severe, but I will take some of your rain if you don't want it. The lounge clothes with cats that like just a little oversized was so perfect. It worked so well for your vibe. Totally gonna validate that for you. Absolutely loved it. How could you possibly not wear a cute lounge shirt with cats on it? Like literally, that it screams you. You have to own that. And you know, like it's slightly oversized, but it's not like super baggy. Like I think it's still cute. I too was very young in the 90s, so like oversized shirts or whatever, I never had a chance to do that in the 90s. I don't wear anything tight ever, so like maybe I was ahead of the trend on that one. The picture on the fridge of you, I have not gotten up since I watched your video, but I'm pretty sure it's from when we got ice cream in Philadelphia the one time when you were studying there and I went to visit you. I couldn't tell you what the ice cream place's name was. It might be in my calendar if I search really hard. But I just have such a fond memory of that moment. Like I can feel that moment in my head, even though I can't see it. I can feel it. I'm glad Primrose seems to be doing better. I totally understand what you mean about like she probably shouldn't eat the yogurt, but eating is good right now, and you have to like figure out how to prioritize as you best you can for her health. Even though it's like nothing's gonna be perfect, you just doing your best. It's all of parenting. Dry air from air conditioning. I am dying in California right now. Dying. My eyes are constantly dehydrated. I have to have AC running like every second because it's been in like the 90s lately. Which basically means my eyes are either painfully dry or watering, depending on like how the air is moving. And when they're painfully dry, I will just sit here and make myself cry over and over and over every few minutes just to get some water in them. And last week, my way I made myself cry was I just, like I could do it just by like getting emotional and like welling up with tears all without words. But the way I was doing it specifically was I was thinking of this meme that I saw, or Tumblr post. And I'm going to paraphrase badly, but it was like, after Hedwig falls and dies, she looks up and she's in heaven. She looks up and she sees Harry caring for her and he's here, so she feels peaceful. But it's weird because his eyes aren't green and he looks a little bit older. But he's still there to love and care for her. And like I'm literally getting emotional thinking about this. Like, oh my god, like of course James would take care of Harry's pet. Like, can you see this? I'm literally tearing up. I don't know what it is about like silly Tumblr fan ideas, but it got me. Okay. So yeah, that's how I'm doing that. But I envy people who wear contacts for the convenience. Like, every time I take the Oculus on or off, which is the virtual reality, I have to like figure out how to go like to get it over the glasses without breaking them. It's like a headache. Also, like, there's kind of in the way with masks, it's an issue with like headphones or whatever. But I think I look so weird without glasses. Like, I think my face looks wrong. I'm just, like, I haven't seen myself without glasses for more than 5 minutes since I was 4 years old. I don't know. I've always worn glasses, and I've always felt more comfortable and felt more like myself in them, because I feel like it's a, like, sort of nerdy look, and also, like, the shape of my face, I think it's better. Anyway. Yes, this is in all caps. Yes, do a video on Polish, please. I would adore that. It's always cool when you drop a word or two in Polish because it's a language that I never hear otherwise. So it's like, oh my god, that's so cool. There was a word or a sentence or whatever. Like, wow, this is something I never hear. Like, you know, you hear French, you hear Spanish, German, just like randomly on TV, on the street, whatever. I never hear Polish, so it's super cool. And I'm aware that English is difficult and not phonetic, but I'm just used to it, so I'm unable to like fully feel that. But Polish is so, so different sounding. So I'm not going to say it's easy or hard, it's just different. And therefore cool. Um, and okay, so you're like super fluent in English. If you were to have to, like, to have some free time, get to pick, would you choose books, movies, TV, whatever, in English or Polish as your default? And please stop me if you don't want to answer these questions or if it's invasive or whatever. But, like, I'm curious, as someone, I think you're bilingual, you might be multilingual more than that, but, like, do you choose one or the other primarily? Like, to me, most media is in English, but I'm sure in your actual country where Polish is the first language, there is a lot more Polish media, so I don't know, like, how much you have that option even to choose. And then, do you speak English or Polish at home with your partner? And also when you talk to your parents and friends? Like, I'm super curious about how multilingual people operate. Like, and I know sometimes you can't ask because it's rude, but, like, I don't know, we're friends. I hope it's not weird to ask. I'm so curious. And when you talk to your cats, do you speak English, Polish, or both? And do they seem to recognize English, Polish, or neither? Okay. Alzheimer's is so sad, and I'm so, so, so sorry for you and your grandmother and your whole family. Like, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, and I'm sorry in general that you didn't have grandparents, like, when you were a little bit older. It sounds like your memories with your grandfather at the smithy were, like, really sweet, even though I totally get where your mom's coming from about unsafe. And, like, him having you help out is, like, adorable grandparent behavior in an unsafe place is very 90s. So, like, the whole thing was very sweet since nobody got hurt, you know? I laughed so loudly when you said Grandma Tina Turner. Oh my god, like, my neighbors probably heard. I was so caught off guard by that story. At first I was like, how would they ever believe that? Why? I was like, no, that was before you'd have access to the internet. Plus they're 5. So, like, there'd be no concept of this super famous person's race. So you might have heard her. You might have heard her voice. But, like, no one is going to be thinking about, like, oh, this biologically doesn't seem right. This nationality-wise doesn't seem right. Like, a 5-year-old isn't going to register all those problems. So, of course, they'd believe it. But I laughed. Oh, man, that was great. This is 23 minutes long. I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure this is the longest video I've ever made. But I successfully went through 5 pages of notes. So, there you go. I'm not going to add anything more on top of that. But, DFTBA, and I love you guys. And I will see you at our Zoom call coming up.